Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square with T-Square Talk. Hope everybody's having a great day. It is Thursday morning. Got an awesome video planned out for you guys, and I'm going to show you something that I can almost 100% say is going to shock the heck out of you. Maybe some of you all don't shock easy, so maybe it won't shock everybody, but I think it's going to shock a lot of you, and it's pretty awesome video, I think. Today, we're actually going to take some time. We're going to talk a little bit about why I think the sell-off is over, why I think silver is about ready to just skyrocket in price. A lot of that has to do with the stuff that I'm going to show you today. It's going to revolve around the U.S. debt clock and some shocking information that I kind of just noticed that really when I saw it, I had to go back and check some of my old videos to verify some numbers, and sure enough, it surprised the heck out of me. Now, with that being said, I have to start out saying, please take a quick minute, hit that thumbs up button for me. Leave me a comment. Today's a great day to leave a comment, because if you leave a question, tomorrow morning's video, we're going to be answering some of them. Oh, wait, it's today's Thursday. Never mind. Forget I said that. That's for Saturday morning's video. So tomorrow's questions will get answered. But leave me a comment anyway. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Help me out. With that being said, let's get started right off with the shocker, and then we'll get into the other stuff. So I wanted to shock you guys right off by pulling up the current U.S. debt clock, sitting at $38,158 billion. Now, why is that a shocker? Because just 2 weeks ago, I had to pull up some old data. Just 2 weeks ago, I made a video, and I paused it on the exact moment where I showed the U.S. debt clock. Look right here, 1,100 views 2 weeks ago, exactly 14 days ago. This video labeled the big dip / correction, why silver is falling. Is this the end game for silver and precious metals? I did that video, and I want you to look right here, $37,925 billion. Now, you're not mistaken. What you just saw a minute ago, think 37,925, 38,158. That's basically $225 billion in just 14 days. Think about that. 250 billion or 225 billion, but close enough to a quarter of a trillion. I mean, what's another 20 billion? I mean, by the end of this video, we'll probably add a few billion on here. It really is skyrocketing out of control. And here's the thing. When you calculate that out, 2 weeks at roughly a quarter of $1 trillion, that means every 2 months, you're essentially adding $1 trillion on the debt. By the end of this year, we will hit $39 trillion most likely, unless something major was to change. What does that take us next month? Most likely adding $5 trillion to the debt. We could expect to see by the end of next year 44, maybe $45 trillion in debt. And people out there have been selling their silver. They've been selling their gold. They've been selling essentially what they believe is the top. And it really is mind-blowing to me that people would sell at this point in time. Take a quick look here right now. We got silver right now trading at $47.90. Now, I understand if you're a business and you make a living, or you have a business that sells precious metals, you have a coin shop, maybe you're a bullion dealer, maybe you're even a pawn shop, you're not into silver, maybe. However, the people that have bought, I was talking to a friend of mine about this yesterday or the day before. I said, you have knowledge, bro. You have the knowledge of what is going on. And here you are buying stuff and turning around and selling it to the refineries. I said, I want you to think about that for a minute. When it just outright just goes crazy in price, how are you going to feel that you didn't stack some up for yourself? Now, he could be fibbing a little. Maybe he's got a bigger stack than he lets on. However, I mean, you need to think about that for a quick minute. Think about it. If you have the knowledge and you're like, oh my word, though, silver just hit 50 almost. I can sell it and double my money. Be very careful. Be very careful. Now, this is not financial advice, nor should it be considered as such. It's something that I like to do to share my thoughts and opinions, to get stuff out there, so you can do your own research and you can look up this stuff. But there's a lot of people out there that are chasing dollars because they think the dollar is everything. And here's the thing. I read an article earlier how Elon could be the first trillionaire. Think about that. When you have individuals that are trillionaires, I had someone tell me one day, oh, Elon should just pay off the debt. Elon cannot pay off the U.S. debt. He can't do it. However, to be the first trillionaire, that's something special. It's something special, but it's kind of crazy in a way, too, that one person can be that high up. I was listening to a YouTuber that I like to listen to. He can be a little crude, I guess you can say. He definitely is outspoken on his beliefs. So I don't even know his last name. His name's Tate, I think. Is it Andrew Tate? I don't know. Some people say he's a little bit chauvinistic. He's a little different. He has some programs that he's made up, how to work with AI and this and that. But I do like listening to him. I mean, he's brutally honest. He don't sugarcoat nothing for you. If he's got something to say, he's going to tell you. And a lot of times, yes, the information's correct, even though it is extremely inappropriate maybe to say it sometimes, the way he says stuff. But, I mean, he came out and said the millionaire status is nothing now. Just to be a basic person with a house, a vehicle, you're essentially a millionaire. Now, do I mean that in everyone watching this video is a millionaire? No, but it sure takes away from the word millionaire. I remember when I was younger, to know someone that was a millionaire was an insane thing. But now, when you factor in 401ks, stock market, IRAs, retirements, the value of your home, the value of your car, the value of your stuff, there's a lot of millionaires out there now. This cannot go on forever. Everybody cannot be a millionaire and all of a sudden the prices stay the same. Now, what does that mean? That means prices probably aren't going to stay the same. Or the word millionaire essentially we could see a real shortage of them. Something major happen where not everybody's a millionaire. And I know for some of you watching this, you might be saying to yourself, man, I don't know. Millionaire seems pretty far-fetched for me. I'm not going to lie. I wish I was a millionaire. I used to want to be one. Now, when I heard that, I said, darn, dude. Talk about take away from the word. A millionaire, like I said, it used to mean something. Now there are so many millionaires. In fact, this year alone, we have made more millionaires than ever before in history. Ever before. There's never been a time period where more people became millionaires. Now, why is that? Well, point blank, we're in a bubble, a big fat bubble. The house market is in a bubble. The stock market's in a bubble. Everything is up in value. But why is everything up in value? That's what you really need to think about. Let's just pull this up real quick. Assets based by market capitalization. I always like to pull this chart up. It really gives people some perspective of the status of things. Gold, number one. It will probably always be number one. I can't imagine anything passing up gold. At a market cap of $27.7 trillion. That means essentially all the gold wouldn't pay off the debt when you really think about it like that. 27 trillion. Maybe. I don't think it. Oh no, never mind. It's not 28. It's 38. So right there, you have to understand that. Boom. Still couldn't. And now at 38, you would need all the money that's in gold. You would need all the money that's in Nvidia. You would need all the money that's in Apple. You would need all the money that's in Microsoft. And you would need some of the money that's in Google to pay off the national debt. That's how big our debt is here in this country. But yet we got a government shutdown right now. a government that is just totally shut down pretty much. And it doesn't look like there's any end in sight. But where am I going with this? Look at how much money is out there. Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, Alphabet. Silver sitting at number 6. And for those people that are Bitcoin fans and Bitcoin pros, Bitcoin number 8 now. It's not going to be long before Bitcoin could be number 9. I mean, we're not far off. 300 billion. It's knocking on the door now. One bad day for Bitcoin, another good day for Broadcom. Today it went up 2%. Think about that, 2%. Thank goodness Alphabet went up, or, I mean, who knows? Silver might have passed it up. I mean, it's got a ways to go, especially because silver is dipped right now. But here's the thing. People are buying paper assets. They're buying something that they don't really own. It's a piece of paper that says they have it. And Bitcoin pretty well getting destroyed, sitting right now at 103,491. A thin air asset, not backed by anything. Has it done really well? Yes. In fact, I just read an article yesterday that Michael Saylor just bought a bunch more Bitcoin. What a way to get an article out there to try to prop it up a little bit. Hey, let's just buy some more. We'll thin out the herd. There'll be less on the market. We can buy it up. We can use investors' money. We don't want to use our own money. And there it is. Continuing, to stumble. I hate to say that. I was just kind of looking real quick. Bitcoin shaken by long-term holders, dumping 45 billion worth. Who are the long-term holders? These are the people that got in early on. These ain't people that just bought yesterday. Why are they dumping it? What do they know that we don't know? Bitcoin price rebounds above 103,000 after dipping below 6 figures. So yeah, we were in the 5 figures. So that's 99, 98,000. And yeah, we did just come back up a little bit, but it's not really a story. Why is it falling? Who is selling? Why are these people that have been holding it for so long liquidating their position? What do they know that's coming down the road? What are they taking their money and investing it in? Personally, I'm thinking they should be investing it in gold and silver. But this is not financial advice. I have to stress that multiple times now because there's a lot of people out there that are jealous. They're envious of the silver and gold stackers, the people that have been investing in this. That's why you're seeing lawsuits now. I'm not convinced that if a company comes out and says, figuratively, we're the lowest price, that they should be sued for that. Look what happened with Roaring Kitty during the GameStop. Here it is, a guy that invested in something that he saw valuable. And he told his subscribers, invest in it. And the dude got sued. He got sued. How many of them lawsuits stuck? None of them. Basically, people just spent their money to sue, frivolous suits. It's crazy. So now everything has to say, I have to put a disclaimer underneath. Hey, this is not financial advice. YouTube has me labeled as an entertainment-only channel. This is entertainment. I'm here to make you laugh and make you think a little. And hopefully you are doing some thinking. And here it is, silver. 47.80 right now, 47.79. I'm convinced, my personal opinion, that prices are going to keep going up. What are we seeing right now? We've seen a lot of selling. Who was selling? Weak hands. People that really have no knowledge of what's going on with gold and silver. People that have been buying paper thinking that paper is silver. Fake paper is not silver. You can't use a sheet of paper that says 5,000 ounces in a solar panel. You can't use a sheet of paper that says 5,000 ounces in an EV vehicle, an electronic vehicle. People don't understand the difference of what they're buying. I get asked a lot of the time, what do you think about what do they call it? I don't want to say SLV, but there's a name for because now everybody's calling it PSLV or just SLV contracts. People don't understand the difference. If you hold it, you own it. And I don't mean you have to physically hold it necessarily. I mean, some people hold it in a bank account. in a safety deposit box. Some people hold it in a safe. Some people tuck it under their mattress. A lot of people do a lot of different things with their silver. But if you're buying a piece of paper, your only backup is the paper price. They can settle in dollars at any time. And that's why what you were seeing a little while ago with this backwardation, I don't even know. Let's see if we still got it. So not really a lot of backwardation right now going on. Yeah, there's 5 cents off. We got silver at $47.89 on the spot price right now. If you are willing to wait a month or two to get your silver, you'll save a nickel, $47.84. People don't understand what is going on. And when all these weak hands get rid of their silver, and I'll be honest, there's a lot of people helping add to this. I talked to someone that had drove a bunch to a refinery up in Austin. They drove a bunch there and sold it. He figured, hey, I'm going to get the best money if I just go right to a refinery. And he wouldn't be wrong in a lot of cases unless you're selling to another stacker, another person that really understands what's going on. I had a friend of mine, he had to go take a trip a little while back, and he asked me, hey, I don't need a lot of money, but can I maybe sell you a little bit of ounces just to get some extra cash right now? And maybe, you'll give me a deal down the road when I'm back and I want to buy some more. Hopefully you can maybe find me a deal on some. Even if it ain't yours, maybe you can find someone, if someone's selling some, pass one of those deals my way. Of course. That's no trouble for me to do that. Why? Because everybody wins. Everybody wins. But a lot of people are just going to miss the boat on precious metals. They're just gonna. I have one buddy. Every time I see him, I always talk to him about silver and gold. And, sometimes he can hear me, I really want to know what's going to happen. I want to know, are we going to see silver go down to 45, or are we going to go see it hit 50 next? What are we going to see next? And, he'll always tell me the same answer. What does it matter? Does it matter? Well, it would be nice to know. I said it would be nice to know so I can talk about it on YouTube. If I find something out that really leads me to believe, hey, $50 silver is right there at our fingertips, or $45 silver is right there at our fingertips. He goes, yeah, I understand that. So you can talk about it, something to talk about, but does it matter? And I said, well, what do you mean by that? He goes, if it goes to 45, are you going to sell? I said, no. He goes, if it goes to 50, you're going to sell? I said, no. He said, then it really doesn't matter what the price flip-flops. And in a way, he's very wise saying that, because I think about that a lot. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it goes down. It doesn't matter if it goes up. The true person that understands silver and gold, they're not selling. Those are the weak players. The people out there that are just dollar conscientious. They think the dollar is the answer to everything. If they can keep printing dollars, it's going to make them worth less and less over time. Why do you think there's so many millionaires and billionaires in the world today? Because they just keep printing money. And where does that money go that they print? Well, it filters into the system. Yeah, it goes to a little of everybody. You might have held some of that fiat dollars at one point, but eventually it filters up. It filters to the people that understand really what money is and how to work it, how to make it work for them. But here's the thing. Even those people don't really understand what money is. They understand how to work it. They understand how to make it work for them. But do they really understand what money is? If they're willing to buy some silver at $25 and then sell it at $50, they've got part of the knowledge. They understand, hey, stuff went up. I made a profit. You made a paper profit. At the end of the day, though, when the game comes to an end, are you going to have paper or are you going to have tangible silver? I was telling one of my buddies, I said, think about this for a minute. If they reset the system, you woke up tomorrow and they reset, a full reset, the first thing you have to ask yourself is, would the world burn itself down? Would everybody go out in the streets and just start looting and going crazy? I don't believe they would. Because a true reset resets your assets, your cash, Well, I shouldn't say assets. That's probably incorrect. Let me reword that. It resets your cash, and it also resets your debt. You know, if you end up having $100,000 in debt and you have $10,000 in cash in the bank, and they reset you to zero, are you better off or are you worse off? I would make the argument you're better off. Why? Because you don't owe $100,000. You're now at zero. Whereas before you were negative 100,000, you had 10 in the bank, that put you at negative 90. Negative $90,000. Now you're at zero. The game is to move in the positive, move up. So here's the thing. All those people now, the majority would have to be outraged by the reset. Well, here's the thing. If I owed $100,000, I only had $10,000 in cash, and you took my $10,000 in cash, but then you took away all my debt, I would be happy. I'd be ecstatic. And a lot of other people would too. In fact, the majority of people here in America, have a negative net worth. They owe more than they have. So if you were to reset them, they wouldn't be in the streets. Okay, never mind. We'll go back. Now you owe us $100,000 again. Whoa. Hold the phone. No, we'll take it away. Then what are you protesting? What are you crying about? So who would be crying? The rich? Would the rich be crying? If they had, I don't know, $1 trillion, $1 billion, $1 million in their bank account, they would probably be upset. But there's a lot less of them than there are of the poor. So when the reset does come, it's going to blind a lot of people. But here's the thing. Things could be better after a reset. Maybe not in the short run. In the short run, you'll have frustration. But who knows? It'll be exciting to see what happens. And here's the thing. If you've owned a home, if you have a good job, you know, a lot of people think when a reset comes, well, I'm not going to work for old $20 an hour or $15 an hour, whatever you get paid. But here's the thing. You won't get paid in the old currency. You'll get paid in the new currency. Companies will have to sell products. They'll get new currency given to them. Then they'll pay their employees in new currency. People won't trust fiat right off. It'll take a while. Look what happened in Mexico when they did the Nuevo Peso reset. People didn't trust the peso right off. Why? Because they got burned. They got wiped out. Their savings account was gone overnight. But here's the thing. Back then, people had savings accounts. Today, people don't have savings accounts. They don't. You know, it's interesting to see how people are today versus how they were back then. Back then, they understood hard work. They understood savings. They understood assets. They even understood price per earnings ratios. Now, there's no such thing. I mean, there still is price per earnings ratios, but we don't look at them. It's speculative. I think that Bitcoin will keep going up, so it doesn't matter. As long as I believe it's going to keep going up, well, then I'll just buy some. And it will go up if more people buy it. So you try to brainwash people into buying it. And I'm using Bitcoin because everybody knows Bitcoin. We could use Tesla stock. We could use Amazon. We could use anything, really. You know, with silver, though, silver has the bonus of it's a tangible item. It's real. People need it. I could sell that silver coin that I got, and they could melt it down and put it in a couple of cell phones. Are they going to need to buy my 1 ounce? No, not when there's people out there that are sitting on hundreds of ounces. They'll just go to them. They'll go to the bigger people, the bigger fish, where they can get more. But how do they get more? Well, they get more because they buy from the refineries. Well, how does the refineries get more? The refineries get more because when the price goes up, people sell. You know, gold and silver is supposed to be sold. I'm not going to sit here and tell you don't ever sell it for nothing. You know, if an emergency comes up, you got to sell a little bit. There was someone that wrote to me a little while back in a comment saying he had to sell some of his silver stack to fix his car or to get a new car. His car broke down. He needed something, you know, so he could go to work, so he could keep making money. And then he could take that money and try to buy back his collection again, little by little. Question is, will it be the same price or will it be more expensive? Will it be cheaper? Where will it be? I think theoretically, next year we're going to see a lot higher. We've done awesome this year for silver and gold. Both metals have done phenomenal. They've had record-breaking years. Amazing years. And I think next year could even be better. But like I said, I'm speculating myself. I'm betting that, and I'm betting literally. I'm betting with my dollars. I'm taking my dollars and I'm buying precious metals when I can. And even if it's just an ounce here or an ounce there, it will all add up in the end. Every ounce will matter, I believe. You know, it is wealth preservation. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. Hopefully y'all subscribe to the channel. If you didn't, well, I guess I still thank you for making it this long. I was about to say shame on you for not hitting that subscribe button. But if you made it this far, thank you at least for watching. Hit that thumbs up button. Check out the video tomorrow. Maybe you'll hit that subscribe button tomorrow. It's amazing how many people watch the videos and don't hit the subscribe button. I always wonder about that. I'm like, I can see that, you know, where they made it to. Usually when I start, I hope you enjoyed the video. People will drop right there. They don't actually make it to the very end. You see a big drop off like 2 minutes before the video ends as I'm still kind of talking, but pretty much done the topic for the day. So with that being said, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you check out some of these other videos. We do post videos every Monday through Saturday. I only take Sunday off. We're trying to grow the channel. In order to grow, the videos got to get shared. People got to hit the thumbs up. People got to comment on them. And the channel will grow, I believe. And it will grow as the price of silver and gold grow. But here's the thing. When silver hits $100, more people start watching. Like, oh my word, I wish I had heard about your channel sooner. Here's the thing. There's a lot of blockage on these videos, I believe. They don't want you to know what's going on. They're acquiring all the precious metals they can get. Those are the building blocks of everything. And when I say precious metals, it's, you know, commodities are the building blocks, but you can't exactly go and buy 20 barrels of oil and just stick them in your swimming pool. You can't exactly buy a couple of tons of wheat and put it in a spare bedroom. What can you do? Well, you can buy precious metals. It's not going to go bad over time. I mean, shoot, they still find precious metals from thousands of years ago, and they still have value. Now, yes, they have a historical value, but even if you were to melt them down, even if they got ruined over time, the metal is still there. The metal is what has the value. That's why we don't have silver and gold coins today, because they don't want you holding the value. They want the value. They want you to hold paper IOUs while they hold the physical metal and put it in their hands. You have an opportunity to stack. You have an opportunity to acquire, whether it's in the form of jewelry, whether it's in the form of junk silver coins, bars, rounds. It doesn't matter. Maybe it's in the form of silverware. It doesn't matter. You have opportunity. So with that being said, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you hit the thumbs up. Check out some of these other great videos, and I will see you again tomorrow on T-Square Talk. Now remember, Friday mornings, you definitely want to end up putting in a comment, because we read all those comments on Saturday. So maybe you have a question about silver that you've been wondering. Friday morning video, that's the morning to put it in. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow on T-Square Talk. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.